Today's guest is a NASCAR Cup Series champ. He was the Indy 500 Rookie of the Year, and he's one of racing's most versatile talents. Please welcome Kyle Larson.
What's up?
Kyle, I appreciate you coming by today, man.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
What'd you do last weekend? Any fun plans?
Last weekend?
Yeah, any good food?
Had some good food. We were in Mexico City, so I had some good food. Racing didn't go well. We got caught up in a crash early on, but no, Mexico City was cool. It was our first time. At least my first time down there, so it was fun. Atmosphere is pretty sweet.
I've only been to Cabo down there.
That's the same thing. Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, you've been, whatever."
Have you really been to Mexico if you haven't been to Mexico City? Because I feel like Cabo is just such a different vibe. All of the beach cities are such a different vibe.
So maybe now I feel like I've been to Mexico.
Yeah, that's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing on my list.
It's definitely different than Cabo for sure.
Yeah, I want to know, how did you get into racing? Because it's not something as simple as finding a youth soccer team or a basketball team.
Yeah, so I grew up in Northern California, like Sacramento area, and my parents were just kind of massive, really, race fans throughout their childhood, and then when they had kids, they continued to still go to races, and so like even before I raced, we would go to 50 to 60 races a year just to watch as fans. But anyways, my dad built me a go-kart when I was 4, kind of started messing around with that, and then actually started racing against other kids when I was 7, and basically been racing every weekend since then. So yeah, I don't know. I'm small. I can't really, I'm not that athletic to play other sports. So thankfully racing kind of worked out for me.
Would you dominate on the go-kart tracks?
I was good, for sure. I wouldn't say I necessarily dominated, but we won lots of races and championships and stuff. But there was other good kids as well, like Tyler Reddick, who races in NASCAR. Also, we grew up racing kind of the same track, so him and I won a lot of the races.
And were you good at the racing video games like Mario Kart? I would not want to play you in Mario Kart.
Yeah, I don't know about Mario Kart. I can't remember a whole lot of that, but yeah, other racing video games, I would take it super serious. Obviously when you're a kid, right? Put my helmet on, had the steering wheel, all that. So, yeah, it was fun.
Were you one of those kids who got in trouble for going in the car and playing in it?
In my parents' street car,
street car. You just sit in, play with the steering wheel a little bit.
I don't know. I don't remember all that. I think I was so busy, either racing or playing the racing video games, I didn't have time for anything else.
Right. I played the NASCAR game. It might have been 2010.
Yeah.
I got a lot of hate because in my last episode, I said the Daytona was 500 laps, which is just bad ball.
I'm glad it's not, because that'd be a long race.
Yeah, bad ball. But it was it might have been lap 198, and I crashed.
Yeah.
I threw the controller at the wall. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
And I think it altered who I am as a person today. Choking the Daytona.
Yeah. No, that's funny. Yeah. I've crashed out on probably lap 198 often at the Daytona 500, so I know what you're feeling.
Did a lot of your friends growing up care about racing? Were they locked in as people are to a football team or a basketball team?
So I would say when I was in growing up through junior high and high school and stuff, I didn't really talk about racing to my friends or really anybody else in school, because at that time I was racing go-karts, and when you hear go-karts, you're thinking you're going to your local go-kart place, and that's not that cool. It was just hard for me to explain what I was racing, because the go-karts that I was racing in had they were 400 pounds, had 70 horsepower, they were violent race cars and crazy. But when you say you're racing a go-kart, they just don't think it's that cool, and racing's not that cool. So I just didn't talk about it. But so the majority of my friends though were within racing, so we all knew what we did and had fun with all that, and got to see each other on the weekends when we were racing. So but then now it's funny, now when I had made it to NASCAR, I'll have old friends from school reach out they think it's awesome now, but back then it wasn't really that cool. So, but yeah, it kind of is what it is there.
That's how I feel about making content. I do a lot of short form, and when I first started, people are like, "What are you doing, man?" Making TikToks, and now it's
you're wasting your time.
Yeah, you do cool stuff. They're like, "Man, I've always supported you." I'm like, I don't think you did. You're definitely talking shit and sending it to people, Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, same thing, just different, right? It's odd, but we both made it now, so it's good.
Did you have any teachers that were like, no, you're not going to make it? 'Cause there's always stories with football players like, you're wasting your time. Like, you got to stay focused in school. You're not going to make it. Did you ever have that?
No, but I remember later on in life, my mom telling me, like, she's got a handful of sisters, and one of her sisters was like, you really need to, like, have him, like, go to college and this and that, and, like, racing may not, work out, and yeah, and then so you make it, and then now they're like the biggest fans, but it's still like all that's fine, it's cool. Part of me like, hey, racing and like committing fully to that, yes, I get, because man, if it didn't work out, like I don't know what I would be doing right now, because I didn't go to college, I really didn't take school like all that important, just did enough to get by. So yeah, I don't know where I'd be at in life without racing. So I'm grateful.
Did you have a backup option or no?
Zero?
Just
No backup option at all. I even so I went to high school, or I got into homeschooling when I was like halfway through my sophomore year, so I could go race more and travel more and try to get out. So and homeschooling is way easier than regular school. It's like a little less serious. Yeah, but. Yeah, so dude, I didn't have any plan.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What could I envision you doing if you weren't racing? Maybe...
I don't even know what I could envision myself doing, because like I can only drive the race car. I don't know how to work on a race car. I don't know anything about a car. So like I don't even think I would be involved in racing if it wasn't for me driving a race car. Literally, I don't know what I would be doing.
That's how I felt about football. I wanted to be a football player. I'm an undersized white kid. I'm not making it. Like I could be a slot wide receiver maybe, but I didn't have the drive. Yeah. So I'm gonna make videos about football. That's the best I can do.
Yeah. Hey, but it worked out.
You're a big dog guy, right?
Dog? I mean, honestly, I think I like cats a little better. Yeah, with my lifestyle, I don't have a dog or a cat right now, but I feel like with my lifestyle and how often I'm gone, like you can leave a cat at home for a few days and they're going to be just
they're self-sufficient.
Yeah, dog, like there's no way. You have to bring the dog with you. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So I don't, I'm at the stage of my life where we don't need any animals, but someday down the road, yes, I'll have another
maybe like
dog.
A hamster and a ball. You can bring it on.
No, I like dogs. For right now in my life, I don't need a dog.
You had a childhood dog named Stagger though.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Was he the man?
Yeah, I love Stagger. He's my parents' dog. And honestly, I don't even know if he's still alive. I gotta ask my parents. I
hope he's still kicking.
He's at the end though. I know that if he's still going.
This next race for Stagger.
No, but yes, I remember. So let's see. I was living with my parents. It had to be 2000.
You were born in 2000?
No,
okay.
92. But
I love about
but I remember racing, and we went to. I did a good job in this race that we ran. It was probably like 2009 or 2010 maybe, and then we came home and I was like, I want a dog. And so we got that dog, Stagger. That. Yeah, he's a Pekingese. Taught him how to roll over, but instead of saying like roll over, it was party time. I remember. Awesome. So, yeah. Yeah,
I trained my dog to roll over, and then once we got him neutered, he won't do it anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's like payback for doing that. I was so proud of it. It was a party trick. I'm like, hey guys, watch this.
Yeah.
Roll over. But it's all right. Now I'm over it. We've moved on.
What kind of dog you have?
He's a Australian Shepherd Husky mix.
Oh, wow. That's probably cool looking.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
He's handsome.
Yeah. Sheds a lot? No.
Yeah, he sheds a ton.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like about dogs.
Yeah, I probably got some hair on my leg right now. How can you tell when a young driver has talent?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, so I grew up racing dirt racing, and I feel like it's a lot easier to see talent on dirt racing than asphalt, like from stock car racing, because in stock car racing and all racing, like your car has to be good, but like on asphalt racing, your car has to be really good to win. And so a lot of times I feel like that can mask what looks good for a driver. Where in dirt racing, like you're sliding, there's a lot less grip, the cars are way harder to drive. Things just happen quicker, so like you can pick out drivers that might be airing it out, running really hard and like making it work lap after lap. So yeah, I think it's easier for sure to see in dirt, but there's definitely really good guys that come from pavement too. I think it's just a little bit harder to see. I think in guys who grow up pavement racing, a lot of times fail. I wouldn't say fail, but don't really meet the expectations that they, you know, might have had when they were, you know, 15, 16, 17 by the time they get to, you know, Xfinity or something when they're in their early 20s, because they've just been in the best equipment their whole life. You know, winning's been so easy. They've not gone through much adversity. And then they get to where now there's a lot more good drivers and they don't stand out as much. So where dirt racers, I think, feel like they just grind it out and like they figure it out and work hard and can, you know, do a little bit better.
Do you think the car or the driver is more important?
Yeah, that's a solid question too. It's hard to really like put a number on it. It's probably, you know, everybody has a different opinion, but I would say in, you know, NASCAR, we're probably 65% car and then the rest, you know, driver. But then you could look at it other ways too. You could be like, well, you can, you know, this guy can't get in my car and goes fast. So then like the driver does mean a lot. So it's really hard to say, but maybe 50-50 would just be the right answer.
Yeah, it's one of the few sports where you're also dependent on not just yourself. You know, not a team. Would you consider the car your teammate? I don't know.
I don't know, because probably not your teammate because like everybody's building and preparing it, but you know, you're relying on your teammates, your mechanics, your engineers, your everybody to build that car to be fast. So, I don't know. I wouldn't say teammate, but it's definitely
part of the team
for sure. Absolutely, it's a culmination of your team. I think
it's a group effort.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize I can do this for a living?
I would say maybe when I was racing in California, when I finally got out of the go-kart stuff and then into sprint cars, and racing with like actual adults and whatnot, and guys that I had grew up watching, and you start making some money, you know, very little, but you start making some money, winning some races, your name's starting to get out there, and then you're like, okay, like, yeah, I think this is definitely a career I want to pursue and go after. So, but, you know, things kind of have to work out along the way and meet the right people at the right time, or, you know, take advantage of the moments at the right time. And for me, you know, once I got out of California in 2011 and moved to Indiana, I had a really good year, and then everything just kind of snowballed really quickly. And then I was, you know, racing in NASCAR like 2 years later. So, but yeah, I would say sometime when I was like 16-ish, I felt like I could make a career out of it.
Dude, I wish I don't even know what I want to do now. I mean, at 16, I could.
Yeah. How old are you?
24.
24. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
well, but you're kind of at that stage where you got to figure it out.
I got to figure it out quick.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out quick, man. And when did you realize that you were the man?
The man. I don't know.
Like, you win that first race. Are you like, shit, I'm the man? Because I'll like flip a pancake and it lands perfectly, and I'm like, wow, I'm the guy.
I don't know, like, if you ever think like you're the man, but like you think that like, okay, like I'm good enough that I can be here for a while. Yeah. And for me, you know, it took me, once I got to NASCAR, it took me 3 years to win my first race, but I had a lot of like really close, you know, finishes. I finished second like 9 or 10 times before I ever won my first one. So I would say early on, like I at least had the belief in myself that I could, you know, be here for a while. You know, I felt like I was doing a good job for the team that I was at, all of that. So, but yeah, I think once I finally won my first race, I was like, okay, yeah, now I will, like, I knew I would be here for a while.
You got it out of the way, like now.
Yeah, it was just like a big weight kind of off my shoulders finally winning.
And how do you physically prepare for races? Is there specific training that drivers have to do?
Everybody's, I would say, a little different, kind of has their own way of going about it. You know, some guys are like high intensity, you know, CrossFit style. I would say I'm less of that. You know, I feel like I get in more of the endurance stuff. I like to ride my bike. I'm obviously not like big or anything. You don't need big muscles or anything to drive a race car, but I think having the stamina and the endurance to withstand the, you know, races that take 3.5 to 4.5 hours while you're in a car that's, you know, 130 to 150 degrees, you know, with your heart rate. You know, I track my heart rate every week, and every track's a little different, but you know, some places you might run an average heart rate of 160, 165 for 3.5 hours. So, yeah, dealing with that endurance, I think, is the best, most important piece.
Do you have a favorite track?
Favorite track? Bristol. Bristol would be my favorite track. Yeah.
Why is that?
It's a half mile, so it's like our shortest track. High banked. It's just super fast, like intense laps. We're going around there at 14 seconds. 500 laps too. So it's just it's intense. Like you're that's one of those tracks where like your heart rate will be I'll spike at 190 something. Damn. And yeah, just trying to manage all that for the whole race is fun.
You know why they call it NASCAR, right? You've heard that story of how they named it?
No.
There's two guys, like southern dudes, sitting on a ranch on a porch, rocking chairs, and they saw these two cars go by, and hey, that's a NASCAR. You've heard about it? You've heard that?
No, but I like that. I like
that's
that.
It's a little known story of how it was named.
Okay.
Yeah, not actually.
I like that.
Not actually. Do you have any rituals or superstitions you do before races? I know you have the ladybug on the car.
Yeah. The ladybug thing would probably be the only real one now. I feel like I'm way less superstitious than I used to be. But yeah, the ladybug thing has been. So we run a ladybug sticker on my race car, all my race cars that I run, and really my whole career. My dad read a story of Rutherford when he won the Indy 500. I don't know what year. But a ladybug had landed on him before the race, and he told his mechanics, like, hey, everybody's racing for second today. He went on to win, told the stories. So then my dad read that, and ladybugs are good luck. And so, yeah, we run that sticker on my car. So I think that's something cool that ties back to, even well before I started racing, but really from the day I started racing, we've been having a ladybug on my car.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any ladybugs ever land on you, or like?
Oh yeah, when ladybugs land on me, it definitely I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a good day. Even though it might not actually work and be lucky, it's still like it gives you like an extra little bit of confidence.
I'm not a bug guy. A ladybug lands, I'm
shoot
off.
Flick
it off.
Hey,
saw a couple tarantulas last week.
Tarantulas?
Yeah.
Where at?
I was in Dallas. I was
Okay.
volunteering, doing some volunteer work, and
Yeah.
this girl, she lifted up like a tent cover. Big tarantula, like
really?
fuzzy. It was like, it was hissing.
Oh
They hiss?
They hiss?
I think so. It held its front legs up.
Really?
Yeah. It was like,
I'm not a spider guy.
no, I'm not a bug guy, spider guy, flying guy.
Yeah, I'm not really. Ladybug might be the only bug that I'm okay with just because of it, of the meaning of it. But yeah, I don't like any of that.
Nah. What's the move after winning a race? You're doing a chill dinner, you party. What's your go-to? Got to celebrate a little bit.
Yeah, we don't really do a whole lot of celebrating anymore. I feel like if there's a bad part of like winning a lot or often is that like you just don't you're so like ready for the next one. I feel like after you win that like you don't really spend time to like celebrate. But we still do every now and then. But a lot of times I feel like our team is so intense. We're like, we win. We're like, yeah, cool. All right, let's go win the next one.
On to the next.
But like, back when I was, like I said, it took me 3 years to win a NASCAR race. And then it took me another 2 years, I think, after that to win my next one. So it was like, okay, winning's really hard. So yeah, we partied hard after all those early wins. Yeah. But once I got to Hendrick Motorsports in the 5 car, it's like, we'll celebrate and party after some of them. Championship, when we won 21, big night. But yeah, other than that, we don't. There's just been a handful where we kind of have a good time.
Winning the championship is essentially, the Super Bowl of NASCAR, right? What is the feeling of hoisting that trophy? Is that like was that your childhood dream to win that?
Yes and no. Like it felt so far-fetched that I really never even thought too much about winning the championship. Like honestly, like it just was like, I'm gonna win. I'm the type of guy that I win races. I don't win championships, whatever. So yeah, when we won in 21, like it was just like it was like the coolest feeling in the world. Like it almost like looking back at it now, I don't remember like a whole lot of it because it was just like so fast paced and like I want to win another one to relive it and like really like look around and soak it in, just to remember like what that feeling was like. But yeah, it was just crazy, So, post checkered flag was like 5 hours of, pictures and media and this and that. And then like you black out, later in Scottsdale. So it's like, the whole thing's a little bit foggy, but no, it was cool. Like it's a long season. Our year, we start in middle of February and we go to like first couple weeks in November. So like and you get one off week. So it's a grind, and but it makes, the celebration of the championship really cool.
Yeah, I feel like you gain more of appreciation once you win it again.
Yeah, and that's what I hope I can kind of do it again.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. We got a good shot. We just got to keep with it.
And you attempted the double, which everybody was talking about it, the Coca-Cola 600 and the Indy 500. Is that something you want to do again? Like, I would assume be badass when you win both, right?
It would be badass to win both. It's just I don't think that I would do both races in the same day again. It's just logistically, it's really difficult. The window of time that you have is very small. So if you run into any bit of like weather delay or red flag or whatever, it just kind of kills the whole thing. Like, it needs to be sunny, no cautions, all that, and then it could work, where that's rarely the case. So
is it typically the same day?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always the same day.
Okay.
And so the travel between Indiana to Charlotte, like, you got to factor in all that. So it's just tough. But I would like to do the Indy 500 again someday when I'm done NASCAR racing full time. But we'll see.
I got to ride in one of the Indy cars for like a hot lap, a 2-seater. I don't know how you do it. My head was like,
so my wife did it last year, and she's like, my neck hurts. So yeah, and those go a lot slower than what the actual Indy car.
Do you have to do neck stretches? You gotta like stretch your neck out a little bit.
I don't, but I should, because my neck was pretty stiff after even only running like half the race this year. So I probably should do that.
Who do you think is the LeBron James of NASCAR?
LeBron?
Yeah.
LeBron of NASCAR. I don't know. You could say like me or Denny, right, like currently.
Who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT in your opinion?
I think the greatest of all time would be Jimmy Johnson.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, 7-time champion in the modern era of NASCAR. I think, I just think like it just gets tougher and tougher to win races and win championships with formats and cars getting better and closer and drivers getting better. So for what he did, winning 5 in a row and then another 2 like in the modern era, was incredible.
You're not typically involved with like drivers beefing, I feel like, right? You're not usually part of that.
No, I'm too little to I'm too small to be getting into
do you see some of the clips, you see it happen, you're like, damn, like that's crazy. They're actually they're going at it.
Yeah, like there's fights, at least a few times a year. And Bubba Wallace, he got mad at me a few years ago at Vegas. He wanted to beat me up on the front stretch. So I was thankful he didn't get me. But that's the closest I've been to getting an altercation. But Ross Chastain, dude, he clocked Noah Gragson pretty good a couple years ago at Kansas. Like, he connected Ricky and Kyle Busch last year. Like, that was fun. So Ricky, he's been fired up with Carson Hocevar this year too, so we might get another fight here.
Is there a driver group chat for like everybody?
There is a drivers group chat that it's mostly like business wise, like just things going on in the sport and like what we're trying to get prepared for and stuff. But it can kind of get sidetracked every now and then.
Does anybody talk shit?
Not like, I wouldn't say anybody talks shit. There's been a couple times, where people like, somebody will say something and somebody will jab back, but for the most part, it stays pretty straight. But I think the shit talking probably happens either in person or in like their own side, text message or phone call.
How would you respond if someone said NASCAR drivers aren't pro athletes?
I would say I would like to invite them to come try it. I think, a lot of times that's a misconception. Like, oh, they just turn left. They just turn left and go in circles. Like, how hard could that be? But try doing that, at 195 miles an hour, inches away from each other in a car that's 140 degrees or 50 degrees, and having the G-forces and all of that, the crashes, all of that. So, we're not jumping in the air or dunking a ball or getting tackled or anything, but our impacts and stuff that we have are large. We're just a different type of athlete. Definitely. It's just a different sport.
I was wondering this yesterday, but do you think NASCAR or the NFL is more dangerous?
I would say in today's world, NFL for sure. I think, prior to Dale Earnhardt passing away, maybe, NASCAR would be a little bit closer. I don't even know if like equal would be the word, but it would be closer. Since Dale Earnhardt passed away, we haven't had any deaths. Drivers get some concussions and, maybe break some bones here and there, but we've made our sport a lot safer where, NFL, I mean, them guys are, blowing ACLs and getting concussions left and right. So yeah, it would be a lot more dangerous.
It's almost like NASCAR without a car. They're just crashing into each other.
Yeah, and then it's like, I don't know. Just like the concussion side of it is crazy. Like, I picked up an NFL helmet a few weeks ago, and like it is so heavy.
You
like
your head just kind of goes down. And
I don't know why they're so heavy. Like, I feel like the NFL and I'm sure they've looked into it all, but like, dude, they could easily cut the weight in half. Like, if you held onto a NASCAR helmet versus an NFL helmet, like it's like our helmets weigh maybe 3 to 4 or 5 pounds. Probably 4 or 5 pounds. Dude, theirs are like 15, it feels like.
Tough.
So yeah, that can't be good. Like, the momentum that your head is taking to hit the ground with it that heavy is wild.
I think the NASCAR helmets are cooler too.
Oh yeah, way cooler.
Yeah. I'm not just saying that because you're here. I actually believe.
They're cool for sure.
Do you think the popularity of F1 has taken some of the audience away from NASCAR?
Yeah, that's valid too. I don't know if it's taken it away. Maybe at times it makes it harder for us to like grow as quickly as we want to. Like, we're in a growth, but I think it maybe could be steeper had Netflix not had Drive to Survive or whatever it's called. So that really, like, I feel like grew it in America. I feel like it's kind of like stalled out a little bit though. F1 has in America, but there's no doubt that our racing is more exciting than Formula One. But I just think F1 has like that cool factor because there's just billions of dollars in it and celebrities show up and all that, and the technology, I guess, in the cars is crazy. But if you're looking for like pure racing, like, our product is amazing. I mean, there's actually passing. There's battles for the leads.
It's tough to pass.
Formula One, like, they have to have DRS to even allow passing. So that's kind of like makes it fake, in my opinion. But no, NASCAR Cup racing is and two, I think NASCAR gets a bad rap a lot of times for being like, redneck or not technical at all. But the amount of like data that we have in our cars and the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, with drivers' fitness and the engineering and all that, like, it's not to Formula One. Nothing is to Formula One's level on the engineering side, but NASCAR is way more technical than people give it credit for.
I feel like NASCAR has a great culture. People do think like redneck, Southern, but if you go to one of those races, everybody's having a good time. You're not seeing one person there having a bad time.
No, not at all. I think it's in a way it's kind of like the NFL in that, like, people show up early and tailgate, drink, have a good time, grill, like, and then enjoy, a good 3-hour show. Like, they're fun for sure.
What was it like having the Netflix camera crew following you around for their version of Drive to Survive, which was full speed?
Yeah. I wasn't a part of the full speed one this past season, but the year before I was. Dude, I've had so many cameras follow me around for the last like 3 years that I'd lose track of what's all following me. So for the double thing, we've had Amazon Prime follow me around for 2.5 years. Then the Netflix stuff, intermixed in that. My dirt racing stuff, I've had cameras follow me around. So it's like, it's a lot. But no, it's fun to like see it all kind of come together. And like I watched the Netflix thing. Like, for me, like, a lot of drivers, we don't really like talk or hang out with each other, have no clue what goes on, during the week with their lives, or families. And so me, like, even as a competitor, I enjoy watching that stuff because you learn about them and you learn who they are. You learn, like, oh, like, he seems really cool, or his wife seems awesome. Like, she might get along with my wife, stuff like that. So it's fun to see for me anyways, the outside of what happens other than just the racing.
Yeah. Do you have a motto that you kind of say to yourself, or a mantra? Because if not, I got one to pitch you.
I don't know. My kind of like way I go about life is like, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Like, anytime, like my wife, she stresses out all the time, and things might happen like last second or last minute. I'm like, yeah, we'll adjust, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I live.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Ain't no traffic on the extra mile.
Ain't no traffic on the extra mile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chew on that for a second.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
New Instagram caption if you want.
Yeah. I might have to steal
it's
that.
It's nice, right? It's nice.
Yeah.
How much does it piss you off getting stuck in traffic?
Dude, normally I wouldn't say like all that bad, but after being in Mexico City for this past week and then now coming to LA, I'm like, dude, I'm ready to. I just want to like drive my own car. I've just been riding passenger stuck in traffic for like more hours of the day than I want to. So, yes, lately the traffic's been pissing me off. But
especially in LA because the lights aren't synced up. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, yeah, no.
But you go and then it's just red light.
See, I'm not even like, because I miss riding in the back seat, I'm not even paying attention. So I'm just like, we're stopped again. And
it's so annoying.
But yeah, dude, Mexico City was wild traffic.
And with the NASCAR, there is a system where if you had to pee, you could pee. Is there a system for taking a shit? Like, I've never seen that information out there.
I would say it'd be much harder to pee than shit. So, because when you
is it because of aiming or how does that?
Well, I think just like, dude, when you gotta go, like, like there's no holding it back sometimes, right? Where like pee, I feel like you can like kind of hold it back, you know. So for me, like you can't, like, it's hard to go. You have to like mentally talk yourself into going pee, and I have not been able to do that.
I feel like the adrenaline might take over. Like, I don't need to. I'm good.
Well, you just have like your belts are really tight, and you're driving. Like you're driving.
It's the vibration too.
Just like, I don't know, your focus is still kind of on driving, so it'd be hard. But I don't know. There's definitely guys that go pee and whatnot.
That's my biggest fear if I were a driver.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be the race itself.
Yeah, and then you gotta like sit in that.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I went to a football game. This is probably a lot of information, but I sat down, I peed, and then it just got all over my underwear, and then I didn't want to sit with that, so I just dumped water onto the underwear.
I think
my head was more cleanly.
Yeah, I think guys that pee, they usually just get like a fresh water bottle at the next pit stop and just dump it all over them. And
it's a good ball.
I guess rinse. I don't know. I mean, you're sitting in a seat, so it's like it's just making the puddle bigger.
Yeah. Are you an NFL guy, NBA guy? Do you care about either of those?
I would say I definitely watch like playoffs of all sports. And then for me, like I love to watch, like Sunday night football when I get home from the race, Monday night football, Thursday night football. I'm from California, so like, I like the Niners. But I'm not like a massive diehard fan.
Right.
I got to go to the Chiefs facility recently, and Brett Beach, the GM there, he's like a big fan of mine.
Oh,
so like,
awesome. That
was a really, really cool experience for me, getting to go to their facility there and like meet a lot of the players. And they showed me around. Like, so not that I'm a Chiefs fan, but I have a lot more respect for them, for sure, than I did. Basketball, I wish the Sacramento Kings could, get better, but they're kind of just average for the last however many years.
They messed up a couple times.
Well, so like when I was young, that was when Chris Webber was there, Mike Bibby, Vlade, Peja. Like, it was good. Like, they were, they could have made the finals if it wasn't for the Lakers. So, yeah, we would go to games when I was a kid. Like, that was like the Kings era that
They have a good culture now with the lighting the beam, that old thing.
The arena's sick.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, they're like right on the cusp, I feel like, but Halliburton, he's killing it.
Yeah, they messed up there.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet Patrick Mahomes at the Chiefs facility?
No, I missed it by a day. Yeah. I had to go to the Royals game. It's in like, they share like the parking lot. And Brett had texted me. He's like, hey, come over here. And I was like, I got to be over here. He's like, can I come tomorrow? He's like, Mahomes won't be here. But so I didn't get to meet him. But yeah, it was cool.
I do a Patrick Mahomes impression.
Do you? Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah, Kyle's one of my favorite racers, man. I wish I got to meet him, but unfortunately, I was a day late.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, thanks,
solid.
Man. I got an impression of your car too.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay.
You got one?
No.
Okay.
That was solid though.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
It was a little stalling a little bit.
Yeah.
What type of car do you drive? Like your actual car?
So yeah, everybody I think expects like a race car driver, and some are into cars, but like I'm not that into cars. So I got 3 kids, a wife. I could drive now I got a Suburban. So I drive a Suburban, but I have a couple cars. My grandpa, he restored a 1940 Pontiac, so I got one of those. I got a 69 C10.
How many horses in that one?
I don't even know. See, dude, like I have no clue.
A couple horses.
Yeah. I have the Chevy Corvette, like Z06, like the mid-engine one, and then I'm gonna get the new ZR one here, the one that's got over 1,000 horsepower here. Should get that hopefully in a few weeks. That's about it, I think, for cars. I'm not like a car guy.
Yeah. How old are each of your kids?
So my oldest son, Owen, he's 10. Okay. Daughter Audrey's 7, and then Cooper, our youngest, is 2.
So your first two, they have a grasp for what you do for work. Did they get to come to all the races?
So they don't come to all the races because they're kind of at the age now where they're into their own things and they're busy on the weekends as well. They race too. So, they're racing go-karts and micro sprints and stuff. So they don't get to come to every race, but they come to enough. But, yeah, they definitely grasp what their dad does, and they've been in victory lane a lot. And I would say even my youngest at this point, he's kind of like talking now, so he gets it too.
Yeah,
it's fun.
What's your favorite thing about each of your kids?
Favorite thing about each of my kids? Okay, I'll start with my youngest. He's got a mullet.
Love
and he fits the mullet perfect. He's wild. He's fun. My daughter, I love that she's very competitive, very athletic. She wants to do everything and like do it good. So she, plays baseball, doesn't want to play softball, but wants to play baseball. She races, wants to play hockey, ice hockey. And yeah, she's good at it. Like she's going to win here soon, her first race. And then Owen, he's kind of like me, like pretty reserved, laid back, calm, quiet. And yeah, he's doing a good job racing too. Like his style is very aggressive. Like he just had a big flip a few days ago, and it was hilarious too because he's just wide open, just plugged in the fence, flips and still wide open. Like you can hear the engine like hitting the rev limiter, and he's just calm, when he gets out. So they all have their own personalities, and it's fun. It's fun.
Man, I love that. How do you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered? Yeah. I don't know. I think for me, I want to be kind of in the category of driver that, for one, did a lot for the sport, but, somebody that could win in all different types of cars, like a versatile driver, And I get compared now, but I don't really feel like I should be in that category yet because I'm still only, 32 and got a lot of racing left. But, like, hopefully when I'm done, like I can definitely be in the category of Tony Stewart, Mario Andretti, AJ Foyt, Parnelli Jones, guys like that who back in the 60s, 70s, and then, Tony, like closer to my generation, like winning in lots of different types of cars.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest misconception about being a driver?
About being a driver? I don't know. Maybe, maybe the part that you asked earlier about like not being athletes, I think, for like the broader, people who don't follow racing, I think that's a big misconception is that we're just sitting in a car turning left.
For sure. Like people can't even do it 60 miles per hour on a highway without getting in crashes.
Yeah.
Go 190.
I know.
Come see me.
Yeah. No, it's there's that probably.
So this next segment is called Do You Know Ball? So I'm going to ask you 3 questions about yourself.
Okay.
You should be able to get them. Number 1, what was the nickname given to you at the beginning of your career?
The beginning of my career, my first nickname was Mophead.
Mophead.
Yeah. Now it's Young Money, but back then it was Mophead. I had like really long kind of shaggy hair, and my sister dyed it kind of. So it did not look good. But yeah, it was Mophead.
There we go. Yeah. Number 2, what is Kyle Larson's favorite food?
Favorite food? Well, being out here in LA right now, In-N-Out Burger. But I could eat, I don't know, it's hard to pick my favorite, but like I like just tacos, but I also like spaghetti.
Yeah.
You
can't go wrong with those.
I like cheeseburgers, but I could probably do like spaghetti, like
That's
Italian.
That's what I got on here.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
Okay.
Number 3.
Oh, so Mophead was?
I did have Mophead.
Really?
Yeah, I got Mophead. I did some digging.
Damn.
I did some digging.
Okay. Yeah. I thought
I did a lot of digging before today.
Wow.
Number 3, who was your first celebrity crush?
Oh.
Come on.
Well, I know it's probably gonna say Janet Jackson, right?
That's what I got on here.
Yeah, that was the first concert I went to when I was super young. I don't even remember.
Not a bad answer, by the way.
I guess.
Not a bad answer.
I mean, I was really young, and I just remember my parents saying that like I had a big crush on Janet Jackson. But like as I got older, when watching Disney Channel and stuff, I would say like Selena Gomez.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Selena Gomez.
She doesn't look the same as she did back then, but
she's still beautiful in her own way.
Yeah, no, she is. Yeah. She is for sure. But
I slid in her DM. She did not answer.
No? What was it? What was the show that she was on? It was some like
Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, it's all right. Maybe one of these days she'll respond. I think she's engaged actually. But
Jamie Lynn Spears.
Yeah, Zoe 101.
Yeah, and she had a kid when she was young too. So I was like, dang,
ruined the show. Man, well, I really appreciate you coming on today. Is there anything you got? Any questions for me?
No, man, I had fun. So that was cool. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for watching Field Day. Kyle Larson. Make sure to follow him everywhere. Go root for him. Buy all of his merch.
That's right.
There we go.